Hi folks, Nella here with KO to give you all some updates on him. So, the things I've discovered about KO while trying to discover things about Ghost. Because, as I mentioned in the previous video, they do live together in the space in the woods. So he is a large part of figuring out who she is, especially since I still have not been able to imagine a situation where Ghost actually speaks, even though I've imagined plenty of scenarios where KO is talking to Ghost. So, I don't know, I'm thinking at this point it might be that Ghost, like, how can I put it? The Ghost can understand, but doesn't know how to form sentences correctly. I don't know. Not sure yet. But KO here is considerably more chatty, and I figured out some things about him because he is considerably more chatty, and that's a lot easier for me to figure out characters when they're a bit talkative, because then I can imagine people asking them questions, and it works. So, KO here, even though he uses male pronouns, you know, he, his, him, those sort of things, he does not identify as male. He identifies as a non-binary gender. He just uses he pronouns for ease, and also because in the books and the stories he heard, that's what gets used when you don't know what gender someone is, as well as KO just likes how he sounds. Ghost still uses they pronouns for the time being. I'm not sure if that's going to change. Other things about KO here. Much like how Ghost has their scarves, KO has his coat, which I'm trying to get off with a pause now because he doesn't want to let go of it. So Ghost has their scarves, and KO has his coat. And I'm not sure where KO gets his clothing from, because for at least a sizable portion of time, that coat is all that he has. And he just ties it up with a bit of string and some beads. But because I didn't feel comfortable just having him going around just wearing a coat, he is wearing one of Finn's outfits. Once again, could be something that he finds and decides to wear. I also removed, as you can probably tell, I removed his old face-up because it just completely didn't work with him, and it was kind of stifling the character. Because it was so completely wrong for the character, it was a bit hard for me to get a feel for what would be a better face-up. So I just wiped it. As you can tell by the mouth, I've not finished, sorry, the mouth and the muzzle, I've not finished wiping it. I've just gotten most of the paint off. But I also, just so he wouldn't be, you know, completely blank-faced, I did a little sketch of a face-up on him, and it's probably not going to focus. I've tried this before, it did not focus. But anyway, you can see that he's got pretty normal straight eyebrows, and he's got a little scar underneath one eye, and this is the bit I was really hoping they would focus on the muzzle, but you might be able to see there's a little gray dot right in the middle. That is because I am planning on painting that space white so that it looks like he's showing a bit of his teeth. I don't know why, I just kind of sketched that and it just kind of stuck. Like I said, he's kind of talkative, so I like the idea of him just, you know, kind of keeping his mouth a bit open, like he's going to say something at any moment. As well as it just, you know, I think it looks kind of cute. For his color scheme, if you follow my Tumblr for brainstorming about Ghost and KO, there's a number of pictures of foxes that I've reblogged, and a few of those I'm thinking of kind of applying to KO here. Kind of a gray and white color scheme, and I actually had this really weird picture that's kind of a bit creepy, of someone's hands with like fake claws on them. That's just kind of been like dipped in black and it goes up the arm. And I'm kind of imagining KO having something a bit like that. That he'd have black claws. I don't think you can actually see, but he's got little claws. Like black claws and dark, kind of a dark gray effect going up to his elbows. Maybe the same thing on, maybe going the same thing up to his knees. And then a bit of kind of a gray little sort of mask on his muzzle, and on the tips of his ears and that sort of thing. If you're wondering why I'd be going with gray or black, main reason is he's white. But the second reason is this wonderful wine red wig. In story, that is a wig. That is not his natural hair. His fur does not grow like that. It's purely that he found a wig, cut into it, and just, he loves it. So he wears it like a hat. Might be able to see the face a bit better this time. Also, the wonderful thing about giving him a wig is that I can leave the back of his head off, so I can actually adjust the eyes. Anyone who has a Fallen Doll or a Hujo knows that those back plates are a real pain to take off. So by having a wig over that, I don't have to worry about that bit. Now, there's one last thing, and it is about the wig. We're at the wig in story, and that is that in story, because this is what happened out of story, it didn't quite fit over KO's ears. In story, it's that it like compressed his ears, and he didn't like that. So we cut at it so his ears can pop out, but that means that the elastic at the bottom is broken. So in story, what he does is he attaches a bit of rope and then covers it with feathers and beads and shiny baubles. Now, real life, that's because I had to do a safety pin, but KO has inspired me, and I think that when I can, I'm going to go through some of the glass beads I have and see about beading him some little ornaments to just kind of hang off the sides, kind of like earrings almost, except for it's attached to a wig. So yeah, that's it. That's way long, but it happens sometimes. Okay, bye everyone.